Our eighth and final group of disc golfers is Team NorCal, the returning champs from Northern California. Team captain Peter Sontag is a masterful tactician, seeding his squad with Disc Golf Action magazine publisher Harold Hampton, along with Roger Kanzler, Mike Loya, Bruce Knisley, and Jim Hagan in the open spot. The Masters are Scott Riley and Rob Harding. Grandmaster is Michael Travers, Woman is Annie Kreml, and the Ands are Miles Harding and Mitch Carbone. Scott Riley in the top Masters seed would lead Team NorCal with the best record for the tournament. Riley finished undefeated with 7 wins and 1 tie. Only Jim Hagan, as the 6th open seed, had a losing record of 2-5. And as a team, NorCal steamrolled their way through team after team to finish tied with the Diehards at 6 wins and 1 tie. They would defend their title in the upcoming 12 final holes. Now we take you to the conclusion of the Sandy Point Team Invitational. 2 teams are tied for the lead, each with a record of 6 wins and 1 loss. A final round of 12 holes will determine our winning team. It's Northern California's Team NorCal versus the Illinois-based heavyweights of Team Diehard. These 2 teams were well matched, and NorCal captain Peter Sontag knew that his team was looking for some payback after taking their only loss of the weekend to the Diehards. As a result, Sontag resisted the temptation to shuffle his seeds in the hopes of creating more strategic matchups and let the players go head-to-head against the original players they had lost to. Team Diehard captain Dan Harbeck, having already tasted victory against NorCal, also kept his original lineup intact, and the showdown was on. The points didn't come easy, especially in the northern Wisconsin woods where there were equal chances for birdies. Nearly every seed was battling back and forth to lead their matchups. Great drives were answered by great drives, but occasionally there was a missed putt, and the lead would change again. As the woods holes were coming to an end, the race was still very close, with many of the 12 seeds finding themselves in a tie. NorCal had built a slight advantage that was growing wider, and the Diehards fought to keep up with wicked forehand upshots to get out of trouble and by sinking point-saving putts to force NorCal to stay in the chains. Here's NorCal captain Peter Sontag showing the kind of skill he and his teammates needed to maintain their lead through the first 10 holes, with a very nice upshot through the trees. And talk about an A for effort. The long putt is so close. NorCal's Mike Loya to stay tied up here with the Diehards' Pat Vitale. Loya's putt is good. Diehard top seeds David Greenwell and Scott Martin both needed deuces on the 10th hole to remain tied with NorCal's Roger Kanzler and Harold Hampton. After Greenwell's nice drive to the left of the basket, Martin would step up and throw another tree-free shot, and both teammates were on the dance floor. Each of these 2 Diehards would sink their putts to keep the matches close. Our final 2 holes were water holes along the Sandy Point beach. And if you had to pick a place where Team Diehard would fall apart, this would have to be the place. Meanwhile, NorCal was trying to play it nice and easy. Here's Peter Sontag making another amazing upshot out of the rough. It was point-saving shots like this that helped Team NorCal to shut the door for good. The diehards tried to plot their way out of destruction, and Scott Martin began the 12th and final hole with a great drive to the fairway. An especially tricky shot considering that Martin is one of the few left-handed throwers here this weekend and had to play the drive as an anhyzer in gusty right-to-left winds. NorCal continued to play it cool on the final hole, which boasts perhaps the most dangerous disc golf green in the world. A thin peninsula extends along the lake's edge, surrounded from the left and rear by a stream and lake to the right. Martin would find out just how dangerous this green is when he played his approach shot low and conservative. But the distance between victory and defeat can sometimes be only a matter of inches. Meanwhile, Greenwell's approach was a bit trickier. The forehand flick is off the roof and, you guessed it, into the drink. Yeah, it hurts now, Dave, but the pain ain't over yet. With the added penalty strokes for Team Diehard, the NorCal players would lay up for easy fours, while players like Greenwell could only run the basket to try to save points. Desperate shots usually lead to desperate finishes, and David Greenwell would be wet again to lose his match against NorCal's Roger Kanzler. Kanzler with another easy layup, and his four would cement the deal as Team NorCal wraps up a 9.5 to 2.5 victory over Team Diehard to become Sandy Point Team Invitational champs for the second year in a row.